In this video, we will talk about hardware tokens. We will cover what a hardware token is and how to use hardware tokens to authenticate with Auth0 multi-factor authentication, or MFA. Let's get started. A hardware token is a physical device that contains a cryptographic secret. There are many types of hardware tokens out there, but the tokens that we use with Auth0 display 6 numbers on a screen when you push a button. These numbers are a one-time password, or OTP, that you can use to authenticate with MFA. When you have a hardware token, you do not need to use the Auth0 mobile app because you can provide your second factor of authentication, your OTP, with the hardware token. There are a few reasons that companies may want to use hardware tokens instead of the mobile app. Some users may not have an Android or iOS phone, so they cannot use the mobile app. Some companies have secured areas where phones are not allowed, and hardware tokens can be used to provide MFA for the logons in those areas. When a user forgets their phone, you can give them a hardware token instead of using Forgot Token mode, so that MFA is still required for that user's account. WatchGuard sells hardware tokens that can provide an OTP for your logons. WatchGuard tokens can only be used in Auth0 and can easily be added to your account by entering the serial number. Auth0 also supports many third-party hardware tokens as well. Third-party tokens must display a 6-digit time-based one-time password, and you must obtain both a seed file and a key file from the token vendor in order to import these tokens into Auth0. These files provide Auth0 with the information necessary to import the tokens and validate the one-time passwords that they generate. For more information on hardware token requirements and supported third-party hardware tokens, refer to the Help Center documentation. Now let's look at how to add hardware tokens into Auth0. Here we are on the dashboard page in WatchGuard Cloud. Let's go to Configure at the top, then Auth0. Then we'll select Tokens from the Auth0 menu on the left. We'll start with a WatchGuard hardware token by clicking Import WatchGuard Tokens at the top of the page. All we need to do here is enter the serial number from the sticker on the back of the hardware token. The dashes are not required. You can also press both buttons on the hardware token and it will display the serial number on the screen, but you must add WG to the front of this value. If you purchased a box of hardware tokens, you can enter the serial number of the box itself to import all of the tokens inside. After we enter the serial number, we can select the tokens to import and click Save to add them to our Auth0 account. We can add the hardware tokens to other Auth0 accounts as well if the user that holds it needs to log in to other places. Once the token is added to our account, we need to assign it to a user and then activate it. We can do this on either the Tokens page or the Users page. Here on the Tokens page, we will open the menu for this token on the right and select Assign. Let's assign this token to my user by selecting Brian and clicking Assign. At any time, we can unassign the token and assign it to another user if needed. After the token is assigned, we still need to activate it. To do this, we will open the menu for this token again, and this time select Activate. Now we need to get the token and enter a one-time password from it. This verifies that Auth0 and the token are synced up and will work for the user. Now that the token is activated, we can give it to the user and they can begin to use it for their second factor of authentication. Let's also import a third-party hardware token into our Auth0 account. To start, we'll click Import Third-Party Tokens at the top of the page. To complete this process, we need to upload 2 files. The seed file is a PSKC file that contains device information about our hardware tokens. This includes the cryptographic secrets tied to them, which are called a seed. The seed will be encrypted, so we also need the key file, which is used to decrypt the seed. Once we upload both files, we can either import all of the tokens into our account, or we can select individual tokens that we want to import. You might only import some tokens if you purchased a large batch of hardware tokens that you want to import into several different accounts. I will just select the single token that I have, then click Import to add this token to my account. After the third-party tokens have been imported, we need to assign them to users and activate them, just like we did with the WatchGuard tokens. Let's do this from the Users page this time. We'll click Users on the left, and we can see my existing user Brian, who already has both a software and hardware token assigned. Each user can have up to 20 software tokens and any number of hardware tokens assigned to them. To assign the token, we'll open the menu for this user on the right and click Assign Hardware Token. Then we select the hardware token that we want to assign to our user and click Assign. After the token is assigned, we need to activate it. Let's click on the serial number of the token to open it, and then we can click the Activate button. After we provide a one-time password from the token, it's activated and we can give it to the user. Whether you use WatchGuard hardware tokens or third-party hardware tokens, your access policies for your users with hardware tokens must allow the one-time password authentication option so that users can authenticate with the hardware token OTP. Let's see an authentication using a hardware token. Here we are on the login page for the IDP portal. We will enter our username, then our password, and we will provide the second factor by entering the one-time password from our WatchGuard hardware token. After that's complete, we can successfully authenticate and reach the IDP portal. All hardware tokens have an internal clock that they use to generate the one-time passwords along with the seed. When we import tokens, AuthPoint also knows what the OTP for each token is based on the same time and seed. The clock inside the hardware token can drift over time, and eventually this drift can cause AuthPoint to deny the one-time passwords being generated, because AuthPoint and the hardware token disagree on the time. To fix this issue, we can sync the hardware token. On the Tokens page, we can open the menu for one of our tokens and click Synchronize. We need to enter 2 sequential one-time passwords from the hardware token, which helps AuthPoint to sync with the token's clock in order to fix this problem, like zeroing out a scale. That will do it for using hardware tokens with AuthPoint. In this video, we discussed what a hardware token is and why you might want to use one. We demonstrated how to import both a WatchGuard token and third-party token into AuthPoint for authentication. Then we showed how to sync tokens if there is a problem.